Welcome to 90 Day Fiance.
Three-way. Replay,
Replay.
replay, pew, 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 pew. Welcome back,
Pew, pew,
welcome
pew,
back,
pew.
welcome back.
All
It's
right.
Mace out here.
That's right. That's right.
We got a couple episodes to go over. Who should we start with?
Oh, pick your faves. Oussama.
Since we,
Osama.
oh
No. Osama.
gosh,
Osama.
it
We
is
can
the
go with
most
Oussama.
Yeah, Osama.
Mm.
Just start with
I
me.
cannot. He tricked me. He tricked
He did.
me.
You
That
fell for it. See, I
Oh
knew it. This
my
guy was not trustworthy. I knew it.
fell for that innocent Oussama face and poetry and art. And I love, work makes you blah, blah, blah. What was his line? Work destroys art and we're
I
strange,
mean,
beautiful.
he has some good lines. When she was trying to talk to him at night about the apartment, and he was trying to do art, and he was telling her to shut up. She was like, "No, I want to talk about it." He was like, "No, I cannot talk about it. I'm talking about art. I only have one mind, not two."
Yes,
That is poetic, Osama. I'll give
that
you that.
is. But to see his angry face, to see that
Yeah.
transformation was amazing. It was
Mm.
incredible to see that in real time. That quick change in personality. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah, well, we find out that he didn't tell his parents about what he's been telling Debbie. And when Debbie gets there, she tells the parents that no, we're gonna live in Morocco. And the parents like, what? And the sister's surprised. Everybody's surprised, including Debbie, because she's surprised that they're surprised.
Right. The
And
sister's like,
then
wait a minute. I thought that we were your dream. We always talk about getting out of here. That was our
mhm.
dream.
Yeah, and so they go to paint, and then she finds a donkey and she sings to it. She speaks the language of donkey. Yeah, we find out. And then it worked. That donkey really listened to her. She was able to get on a random donkey and ride it. Who else can do that?
It was not a random I mean, it was a
It
donkey
was a
that they
plant.
used.
The donkey was a paid actor.
But was
No,
the
it was
donkey
part of his
used to people?
farm.
But was it used to people riding it?
I mean, he had a saddle for it.
Okay, that's okay. If that's true, then yeah. But she was able to sing to the donkey, and then she fell. I was concerned.
I
Fell
yeah,
hard.
right. I
Yeah,
thought
I
she
was
Fell
like,
broke a hip.
hard.
I know. I was like, it's gonna be
You're
like
right. She
a
could have
Christopher
broken a
Reeve.
hip.
Yeah, like a Christopher Reeve situation. Like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah. And that
She's
donkey was
fine.
going like 3 miles an hour.
Yeah, but she's fine. Debbie is resilient, you guys.
Yes. What did you
She got
think?
big strong hips.
Yeah, she
That's
does.
right. What did you think about the meeting with the parents? And how Debbie was with them
It was cute.
and them with her.
Yeah,
I mean, she
it
was
was nice.
um she was really relieved because they said that they didn't care about the age difference, but that's only because she was gonna take him to America, they thought.
Yes.
Mm. I wasn't a
Yeah, better
fan
for
of
them that she was 100.
yeah, but I wasn't a fan of the fuzzy cover on the toilet seat. I was like, that's not
Yeah,
good. You guys can't do that. I'm sorry.
no, I don't. I mean, yeah, weird things get caught in that, man.
I
Hmm.
know. You just can't. How often do you wash that? Has to be every day.
Hardly ever.
Anyway, they go to paint and they have this big argument. And then while she's trying to talk about her apartment that he promised her, that life in Morocco, he calls her crazy. And he goes into a rage. And this
He
is what we find out.
does. I mean, his
Yeah.
eyes were really angry at Debbie. You could just see the annoyance and frustration just coming. Like he just snapped. He's like, "Are you mentally ill? Are you sick?" Everything he probably everything he was thinking this whole time, he finally was able to say it.
But you know what's
Oh
crazy is that he
man.
admitted to the camera, like, this is what I told Debbie, it was a lie. My whole plan the whole time was to go to America. He was just like totally
I know.
no shame.
He's like that evil villain who in those movies that say everything that they're gonna do beforehand, like they'll capture the good guy. I'm like, this was my plan. I was going to do this and do that, and then he reveals everything, and then
Mhm.
the good guy comes and like circumvents his plan because he told him
Yeah.
everything. Why do you think that is? Why do you think
I
he
don't
just
know.
straight up said everything?
I don't know.
Because Debbie was never going to bring him there.
I mean, but what about how he looks like on TV?
I
He
think
must
he
know that
forgot he was
nobody
on
likes a
TV.
scammer.
He forgot for a second this was being recorded.
Yeah, and then he threatens to leave and then she goes away. He calls her a cab and she goes away and then she talks to her son. And then basically the son has like a good reaction. He's like, he doesn't want to say I told you so. He just says we're trying to figure out, what do we do next? How do we solve the problem? That's after she admits that, he turned into like a serpent. And there's a magical fairy tale element where she says it only happens at night. She's living a fairy tale. She said she fell for the poetry. But then you still see them in the confessional, not confessional, but like the interview, right?
Yeah, in the room
So that must,
together.
yeah, that must mean they're still together.
No, but she's mad
No,
at him.
Hmm.
Maybe they forced her to be in there.
that's
It is
awkward.
weird. It is weird that they're. Why are they in the room together if they're
Yeah.
not together?
Hmm. So she stays with the scammer, it seems.
Hmm.
But anyway,
But that was exciting. That was really
yeah.
exciting. Do you think that he's gonna find some other American who's gonna bring him here?
I'm sure somebody will fall for his poetry after he gets 90 Day famous.
Mm-hmm. I
So
think his DMs are popping right now, even though because people are like crazy enough and dumb enough to go with this scammer, like fall in love with anything.
But don't those type of people always think that they can be the one that changes that person?
Yeah.
mhm,
I mean, why
that's
would he
true.
just straight up say that to Debbie? Like, so I can have a good life, so I can go there and work and make a lot of money. Like, I thought you don't like work.
Well, he
No,
said
but
in
also,
His
America, people
art, his
respect art.
art,
oh,
Yeah.
it's
his art
art.
has value. There's no value in his art in Morocco.
Okay, but didn't he not think that Debbie would be like, okay, well, why would I want to do that? Like, how would that benefit me? You know?
Yeah, she's trying to chill in Morocco and talk to donkeys and hang out, go to poetry readings.
Yeah. That's crazy. I can't believe we saw it was like a true scam in real life, a real life scam.
Yeah, and so except for them, what do you want to talk about next?
Kris and Jeymi.
Okay.
Kris and Jeymi's story is basically looking like it's going to end in some kind of breakup because they start off with essentially it's been several months since Kris has gone back to Alabama, and she was only there to supposedly to just try to fix her finances, but got caught up because she kept having to try to send Jeymi money back in Colombia. And she was saying that Jeymi doesn't work right now. She's not working. She doesn't want to work. And she has to send more money, so that it forced her to stay in Alabama to find odds and end jobs. So in their first conversation in a month, they're talking by Zoom, they fight. It's pretty unclear what they're really fighting about, but it seems like these two people are on completely different pages on where their relationship is at. So
Mm,
Jeymi says that from her side of the story, before Kris left, or before Kris even came to Colombia, they agreed that she would cover the rent and that Jeymi would pay the utilities. And actually, we also find out that it's one of the reasons she's having a hard time looking for a job in Colombia is because nobody wants to hire Venezuelans. So it's not even entirely her fault that she can't work.
That's true.
I'm confused about the situation. I'm like, who's the real Jeymi? I feel like I don't know who the real Jeymi is, because on one hand, um, they're portraying her, as like somebody who just wants money and to be and like to use her. But on the other hand, when you see her, it seems like she's genuine. Seems like all
Seems like
her,
that's yeah, and it seems like that's what the editing is making us like leading us to believe is that this Jamie's kind of duplicitous
yes,
because from Chris's perspective, she's really making Jamie out to sound like the really bad person.
she
But when
is.
but when you listen to Jamie talk to her friend and she explained her side of the situation, you're like, Chris is insane. This poor girl is just trying her best.
Yeah, it's like, okay, um, Kris, you said you were gonna move here and you wanted this nice apartment, and yes, it was only $100 more, but that means it was still a lot, and you agreed to it, so you should, I would think, help out if that's something you agreed to pay, right? What are you guys' thoughts on it?
I think she's paying the whole thing, and Jamie's the one not paying enough. I mean,
I
that's
mean,
what
but
way
um,
she didn't. Like how much did she agree to it? I thought that Jamie changed it like when she got there.
no, well, yes, Jeymi changed it and said it was like $100 more than the
Mhm.
price range that Kris wanted.
Yeah,
So I guess
But
Jeymi thought like it wasn't too
now
much.
Chris isn't even paying at all,
Right, right.
yeah, but I mean, like if they go there and Chris doesn't have a job either, and then nobody wants
which
to hire
was what was
Venezuelans.
promised was that because they understood that Chris wasn't going to be able to work, so that she was going to help her start this whole business thing. And now that the business has also gone flat, she doesn't really even know what to do.
Is that what was promised? I was like, how are they going to work this out anyway? It doesn't make sense. Like, how is Chris supposed to support this apartment and support them? Because it seemed like that's what Chris was saying, that she was going to support Jeymi. Right? Isn't that
It seems
those
like
past few
Yes.
Jamie
episodes?
wants. Well, according to Chris, it sounds like Jamie wants um
To be supported?
to be supported. Yeah, but I don't
And
know who
then,
to believe because there's no footage of Jamie saying those things.
right, right. Right. And then right. And then there's footage of Jeymi saying that she's trying to find a job, but that it's really hard and blah blah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wonder, I'm like, what's the true story here? Because they're like very opposite ends.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
agree.
But whose story or whose side of the story do you think is more true?
You answer first.
I
What
feel like
are you, Dylan? Any one of you.
I'm inclined to want to believe Jamie because Chris has shown in the past that she has a history of being a flake and maybe just using this to delay her going back and facing those responsibilities in Colombia.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Will?
I think I'm inclined to believe Chris because it feels hard to believe that somebody could make such outlandish claims about what somebody else is saying. Um, I don't know because there's no footage of Jamie saying those things, so I really don't know.
Right. I feel like I'm on the side of Jeymi because we've seen nothing but care and love for her. When she was also really sick and everything, she called the doctor. It seemed like she was by her side the whole time and like taking care of her. Um,
Hmm.
I think there probably is something going on with the money situation. Like maybe Jeymi does want to be kept. I don't know, but at the same time, I do think she's looking for work. But she probably did think that maybe like, okay, I'm with this American and who they make good money in America. Like maybe it's not hard for her to, have this apartment. and she's finding out like it's not really the case. But I'm more inclined to believe Jeymi about their whole situation. I think Kris is just ready to get out of it. I think it was just like a little adventure for her, and she's done now.
I could see that
Tell
for
me,
sure.
should have married her.
I know. Yeah. Well, she has to be on the show. She doesn't get the show. She doesn't marry her.
That's true.
Yeah, I hope at some point they tell us, we can find out. Maybe during the tell-all, the truth will be revealed.
Yeah.
All right. So should we move on to Danielle and Yohan? I
Sure.
mean, there wasn't, okay, guys. So, full description. I didn't totally finish episode 3, so you guys catch me up. But so far, they just have this whole back and forth about Danielle meeting her ex and how that was basically everything. The whole story right now is revolving on her trying to meet up with her ex. Yohan feels that she is putting her friends above him, and she's like, no, that's not the case. She celebrates his birthday. She thought he would be really happy about it. And I guess he actually followed through on what he said. Remember in the car in like the previous episodes when she's like, "Oh, well, what will happen if I meet up with my ex?" And he's like, "Well, you'll see. You'll see what will happen. Don't worry." And she's like, "What? Why?" She's like, "No, don't worry. You'll see." So I think this is where it finally comes back around, because they have a birthday party and the father says, "Hey, Yohan, you should thank your wife for all this great things that she's done, getting your family together, having us all eat together, planning the celebration." And then Yohan's like, "Yeah, I already did." He just went back to eating and totally ignored her. And she felt
I
disrespected.
love that. That was a thug move.
Right? What do you guys think about that? So whose side are you on that one? Do you think he should have done it? Or do you think he was right?
Well, considering that she didn't meet up with, did she already meet? I forget the timeline. Did she already meet
No, not yet.
whatever that guy's name? Not yet, but that was still before. So I thought
Yes.
that was inappropriate
Mhm.
to do that because she didn't do it yet because he said you'll see. So
Mhm.
he preempted it.
Mm, that
Yeah,
is
so
true.
maybe because she already had it all planned out and she wasn't changing her mind. Maybe she's all like, "Oh, he's gonna come tomorrow," and I'm not changing my mind. I'm not changing my plans. Like, I am gonna meet up with him.
That's true
Right.
because if
Yeah,
you
and I
know
should have been like, no,
somebody's
then you'll see. You'll see. Watch. You'll see. Keep going. You'll see.
Yeah,
yeah, but
okay, but still,
if you know that they're gonna do something problematic, the fact that they do something for you, like in the meantime, is not gonna erase the fact that you know that they're gonna
Yeah,
do
it
something
does
that you
not.
don't like.
Correct.
yeah,
That's
he's still
correct.
pissed, and that's what he was trying to tell her. He's like, "Listen, just because you did all of this, doesn't mean that I'm not gonna be mad that you told me you're gonna meet up with your ex the day before my birthday. Okay, the day right before my birthday, you already ruined my birthday." That's what he was saying. And then so next episode she meets up with her ex, and yeah, and he seems like a nice guy. But I don't know. He's like, "Oh, she really taught me a lot." They had like a temporary relationship, like 5 months. And he's like, "Oh, she really taught me a lot. She's so mature. She brought a lot of financial stability and spirituality and blah, blah, blah." I'm like, really? Danielle did? And then she's all saying to him, "Well, maybe my relationship isn't serving me because I'm tired of being in that teaching role, and Yohan needs to learn a lot." Do you guys think Yohan needs to learn a lot?
No, I think he's doing just fine.
I think he's fine.
Me
I think
too.
she needs to learn a lot about what give and take is.
She is like the most terrible person ever. I
Yeah, I
mean,
gotta say, Danielle is kind of she sucks
she's like a master manipulator.
for sure.
Mm. She doesn't
Um,
compromise. She's only it's like it's either just her way or like nothing, and then she frames it in a way where she's like the victim.
Exactly, right. If it's not her way, then oh, he's so immature. He doesn't agree with exactly what I want to do, and he doesn't want to like change his thought process to mine. How immature. He needs to grow. He's too young. He needs to grow. Like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Just because he doesn't agree with you, you're saying that he's so young and immature. How much older is she anyway?
Probably 105.
Well, because he's like
Maybe.
32. I'm like, I think at 32, he's a grown ass man already. Hmm.
So she's like 140.
Yes, I know. And then did anything else happen at the end, like towards the end of episode 3 with them?
Yeah, basically, Johan really tried to embarrass Danielle in every possible way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, made a lot of innuendos regarding their relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
because that guy is also tall, not as tall as Johan, but tall, Johan is like, "What's your shoe size, bro?" And the guy's like 14. And he's like, "Yeah, Danielle likes the guys with the big dicks."
Did he really just straight up say that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude, not even a
He did?
joke. He sure 100% did. And so Danielle was like, "Don't, you need to stop right now." And he was like, "You said come here, ask any question I want, and these are the questions I have for him."
That's funny. Actually, that's funny.
So then she
What?
started getting all sad and cranky about how, like, you are always trying to embarrass me. And I forget what the word that she used, but basically he draws power from like putting me down.
Oh
His
no,
insecurities about
really?
himself. Yeah. He's so
Oh
insecure about himself.
God.
He's hurting me.
Oh, that's what I told she's a master manipulator. She's crazy. I gotta say though, Danielle pulls above her weight. I have to say, don't you think these guys are? I find them,
Tens.
to
Yeah,
be
they're a
yes,
good they're a good solid 8.
right. If they walk into any club with their height and especially Johan, like with his height and build, like anybody would turn their heads, and I'm sure plenty of club girls would be all up on him. And the fact that Danielle could pull these guys, I have to say,
That fat ass
wow.
son.
Yeah, she must have been reading those books. Those like what do you call them? Those like those books on how to get girls except for guys. Remember what did they call them? Those club guys?
Pickup
Hook
artist?
up
Yes, a
or
pickup artist. There you go. The pickup artist
uh
books, but for women.
Yeah. She probably wrote the book
Yes, yes.
because she's like 126.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know how old she is, but
Watch
she's
her like
older than
be
a
our
bitch.
age. Watch her be like,
Oh,
2
that would
years
suck.
older. Watch her be
I'd be
2 years
so mad.
older. Like, Johan is so immature. He's like only 2 years younger.
I should be younger. Younger
So,
than
and
this.
what did the guy say? What did the ex
He didn't
boyfriend
say too
say?
much.
Yeah. He's like, clearly you guys have some issues here, but I got no love. I don't love her like that. We're just like friends.
Mm-hmm.
He also asked him like, your relationship was sex. How was it? Was it good? Stuff like that.
Johan asked that.
Yeah.
That's funny. And then what did the guy say?
He just he just stammered a lot. He didn't know what to say.
Yeah. That's when Danielle cut him off and said, "You don't get to ask those questions."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, she did say any questions, so all right,
Yeah, it's
that's
like
them.
why is she so important? Like why is it so important for her to bring Johan to meet him?
I don't
No idea.
know. Okay, and
She's
what do you think
obsessed with
about
it.
what do you think about her need to meet with this guy? Okay, let's say the guy did become a friend. I mean, he did look like his, a friend. And
Hmm.
your spouse said no. What would you do? What would you do in this situation?
I don't know. I think I would, since it was only 5 months, I probably would respect it. Just be like, it's not worth it.
The relationship was
especially
5
knowing if
months.
yeah, especially knowing like if I was with somebody like Yohan and that's his culture, it's like you can't expect him to like
But
be
what
okay
if
with it.
yeah, well, like what if B is saying is true? What if the relationship was 5 months, but on the first month of the after the fifth month, the first day after the fifth month, they were best friends, and you've been best friends since. Do you throw that friendship away?
Yeah, what if they've been friends for years?
Now, if they've been friends for years, then yeah, that's different.
It
Oh,
seems like
okay.
they've been friends for years
Yeah,
because
because
if the pandemic ended in 20
mm-hmm.
whatever, that was their
Mm.
5 month and they've been friends since then, that's an additional 2 years.
Then what? What would you
Okay.
do, Dylan?
I mean, I was never gonna not meet up with my friend. I'd be like, I don't understand what you're so jealous about. Then just come. Like, I'm gonna hang out with my friends. If you have an issue with it, you can come.
Right. I feel like I might be that way too, especially if it's like a somebody that you've been friends with for a while, like a few years, like 2 years. So no, that's a good amount of time.
Yeah, if you're a good if they're
If they're a
good
good
friends, then
friend,
yeah.
yes. If they're a
Yeah,
good friend.
if they're a good friend that maybe even in the past you've had a relationship, if they were a good friend and you know for a fact like nothing was ever gonna happen. Yeah, that's when you can just be like super mad and be like, I don't understand what your problem is.
Right, right. He's like, they've been my friend for a long time. If you truly feel uncomfortable about it, you can be there the whole time. Like you could
Yeah. And
come,
you
but
can
I,
also
I,
come when we start making out and like fuck in the bedroom. So you can
yes,
also be there for that, I
the
guess.
whole time.
The whole time. You don't have to leave. Just like be so obnoxious. Yeah, I would be super
That would
obnoxious.
be you. Oh my God, that's
I would
funny.
be just
When
to
we're like
piss you off
ripping
more.
our
Yeah, I would
clothes off in the
totally do
back of the
that.
car, you could be
Yeah,
there.
you could see that. Yeah, you could be there. No one's gonna care that you're there.
Um, all right. Yep. Okay. So who else
We do Jen
should
and
we?
Rishi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh,
Ah, these two. I don't know what's going
ugh.
on with them.
This never ends with this stupid woman.
I know it's like they just go over the same type of thing. Like, is he lying? Is he not lying? Is he gaslighting her? Is it a big deal? Blah blah. Blah. Basically, I mean, he does do some shady things. Like he wants to be the translator between her and his family. He did do that thing with a friend. Um, but then also we find out that he did say no to all of his mom's suggestions. It was just a lot of back and forth of
So
who
he
to
wasn't
trust.
lying.
He wasn't lying, but he still did that stuff about talking to sending the image to her friend, Jen's friend. But it could be that he was saying the truth about how he felt about it. Like it's not a big deal. That's a post that he has, and he's just sending it to a fan.
Mm-hmm.
He has so many convenient, just convenient little reasons that explain everything in a certain way where you can't dispute it. You're like, I can see why you would say that, but I don't think that that's true.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it is like it does seem shady because he does stuff like he'll send her, let her look at his phone, but it's all in Hindi, stuff like that.
Sneaky little bitch.
Yeah, but anyway, she invites her friends because she can't make her own decisions. She needs her friends to state the obvious. But then anyway, they meet Rishi. They don't really like him because he just does some like they have a discussion and he doesn't go comfort her or whatever. And then they devise a plan to out Jen's and Rishi's engagement to the parents, and it works. Basically, they bring along a translator with them. They're not relying on Rishi anymore. Smart. That was the smart thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the first thing Rishi thinks is like the translator's young and beautiful, and it's a
Heidi,
distraction.
she is.
She was
She
young and
is.
She
beautiful,
was
She
yes.
was.
beautiful. Uh-huh. The fact
Um,
that
eh,
Jen was intimidated by that is like,
yeah,
okay, you're missing the thing, the elephant right in front of you.
yeah. Basically, but Jen's friend just dropped the bomb that Jen and Rishi are engaged. And we find out that the parents are okay with that. In front of their face, they're fine with it. Like, oh, okay, that's you know, we have no problem
No,
with
she
that.
said, I never said yes. I just let you say whatever you want to say.
And then Jen is like, okay, let's let you guys could talk amongst yourselves with Rishi because we know this is a lot of news. And then that's when the mom goes off because she finds out Jen's age. She's 16. She's the geriatric age, and she doesn't want to marry her son.
Advanced maternal age.
Yeah, and then I don't know. Rishi does cry. He seems sincere. He seems sincerely sad. I don't know.
Because he let down his astrologer, bro.
Well, you also, you know what? We do find out that he did say that he refused to meet any of the women that his mom picked out, and so Jen was regretful about that. So that was a point for Rishi, but ultimately, I think it doesn't matter because what you call it? Because the mom and the dad say no, like Sumit's mom
No,
adamantly
that's
say
the
no,
uncle.
Really?
or
Was
the
they
uncle.
were really angry?
Oh yeah,
Mm.
they said hell to the no.
Well, also because she can't have kids anymore, right? How old is she?
Yeah, she's like 48.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, like the whole back and forth about whether he's lying or not, it's so annoying because I thought he explained it pretty well about his arranged like the arranged marriage situation, like how his mom is setting it up and everything. And she's all like, wait, I want to, when she was getting angry, she's like, I want to know exactly how many girls did he meet? Who are the girls? When did they start introducing him? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, I mean, my mom is the one doing everything. I never really, never really met anybody. I don't know. And then she goes to the house and the mom basically says, yeah, you never met anybody. Oh, okay. Well, I feel bad now. I have nothing to get. I was like, wait, what? You're getting all worked up over nothing. Like he was already telling you that it was just some thing that his mom is doing, right? Or is
Mm.
it just
She's been
me?
insecure for a very long time.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so that's why everything that she thinks Rishi says is so questionable is because she is super insecure.
Yes. Even okay, the messaging of the friend, okay, fine. But I could also see how you'd be like, listen, I'm bored. I don't know. I have business, like IG is my business. I'm a model. So, these things could lead to it's like networking, you know?
Right,
Mm.
exactly.
So I could see that too being true. Like, what's his true intent? Like, if he wanted to cheat, he would be cheating right now in India. So that's what you have to I don't think looking at DMs and all that from random people is really gonna show his true intentions. You can see it there. Ask the
Yeah,
mom and
yeah, I
ask
agree.
friends, ask people, see how he acts when you're with him.
Hmm. That's very true. I agree.
So that was super annoying.
Yeah, and then what do you think about like what's going to happen with him? The fact that the mom said no and he cries. He has some like his familial ties are, I think, even stronger than Sumit's because Rishi is the sole provider of the family.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
they depend on him for to make the money, so he can't leave. You know what I mean?
Well, why not? He could just send money back.
Well, they said that Rishi wants to all live together, but Jen doesn't want that. Um, I don't know about the sending money back thing. I don't know if he has to be there or what.
Right. Well, I guess like who's gonna take care of them is the thing.
That was one of their questions. Is that Rishi also takes care of them apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like as
So
in take care of them physically in their they're probably hoping that Rishi's wife would be the one to take over, exactly what we've seen with Jenny and Submit.
hmm.
So I guess they were probably hoping that for his wife, but I don't know. Will they be together? I will say no.
feeling.
Like truly. I don't yeah. I say no.
Would like for them to not be together.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't think they're a good match. I think Jen is on the hook because she already put so much work into this. Like she's just holding on to it for dear life because of all the work that they've already done. But I know it's hard to let go of. It's already been 20 years, but ultimately there's too many obstacles. And they haven't even begun the fight. You know what I mean? Rishi's parents just found out. Imagine see how long Jenny's been fighting and how tired she is.
It aged her like 15 years.
Right? And I don't think Jen has that energy. They're gonna fight for another 10 years. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I agree. And she's not at all as laid back as Jenny is.
That's true.
She's really insecure. I haven't seen Jenny insecure. Right? Yeah. She hasn't really talked about like, oh, look at that or this. Yeah, she hasn't shown much insecurity the way Jen has.
Jen's something else.
It's true.
Who next? Who next?
We got Big Dick Gabe.
Mm.
It's the march to the
Yes.
wedding. It's the march to the wedding. So it looks like towards the end of the season, we're finally going to see what their wedding ceremony is going to look like. But the march to the wedding starts with trying to get a marriage license. And it seems like Gabe's hit a little bit of a snag because his birth certificate still says F for his sex. And it's not a match with his other documents that say M. So he's got to go back to America, get it fixed, and it might take a month or so.
If I was
So
Isabel,
they're
I'd
pretty
be so
sad.
frustrated with him. He's been forgetting
She was,
everything. So many important things he
yeah,
forgets.
she was super upset with the whole entire thing. She said that's just, I don't understand how you could be so careless about this thing. And to Gabe's defense, he was like, listen, the fact that all of that was being changed anyway was all I cared about. I didn't even care about anything else. Never thought I would live in Colombia. Never thought I would marry outside of America. So this is, I didn't care back then. So he's trying to fix it. He's going back to America. And during that time where he's back, he actually has to go face to face with his mom and his sister and finally tell them that he's engaged to be married within the month. So he goes to dinner with his mom and his sister Monica, and he finally tells them that he's engaged and that they're invited to go to his wedding, which was going to happen at the end of the month. And I guess they're rightfully upset that they were in the dark about this whole thing. But do you think that their reasoning for why they're upset makes sense, that they were close? Because it doesn't seem like they that's how close people act. You know what I mean? Like, why do they know
Yeah.
so little about it?
It seems like a forced closeness because they said it was just them, just they had just had each other. And so it's sort of like forced, but it doesn't seem like they get along very well. At least not the Gabe and his sister.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, maybe, yeah, maybe it's like one of those love-hate relationships, like you're close because proximity wise and like growing up, but she does seem like she's like a protective younger sister that they,
Is it protective or overprotective?
yes, that. But it seems like they're not close now because of his secretiveness with Isabel. Like him kind of keeping them out of the loop makes it look like they're not that close right now. But I think they
Is
were.
that justified? Do you think he,
No,
because
why? Why
he
was he
thinks,
hiding it? I don't really know. Why
well,
is
he
he
says
keeping
that
them out of the loop?
Monica tends to overreact to his relationships.
But what about his
Which,
mom?
well, I was just going to add, which in Monica's defense, they usually end badly because the person that he was dating ended up becoming crazy. So she's just seen that show too many times to not be guarded. But yeah, for their mom, I don't know why he's not open and honest with her either.
Maybe because he thought that she would tell Monica.
Hmm. But it's funny because he wants them to be close with Isabel and he wants them all to have a good relationship, but then his actions are actually pulling them apart
Yeah.
by him keeping it secret and this and that. I mean, yes, I could see his point about her, but she's all the way in Colombia about Monica being, really forceful and influencing his relationships. But yeah, Isabel's all the way in Colombia, so come on. How much can she do?
I don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe she
and
seems like the person she would stop at nothing. She would do a lot.
she
She
would
does
she would do
actually.
some damage. Yeah.
She would call the
Well,
Colombian authorities.
right.
She'd get somebody to go to Colombia. She seems like that kind of person.
Which I think Isabel now has like that kind of impression of her because as soon as they land to Colombia for the month of their wedding, um, she's like, I really need to talk to your sister.
Mhm.
How'd you think of that conversation? Like, how did that go? I couldn't look away. It was one of those things that I was like, usually if it's awkward, I can't watch. But that one is like it's like watching two lionesses fight, and it was good.
Mhm.
Can you recap? Can you recap that conversation?
Yeah. So basically they sit down at a restaurant and Isabel, um, so she didn't have to rely on Gabe to translate. She uses the app translator for them to have a conversation. She basically says to Monica, listen, I know you have a lot of concerns. I know you don't know me. But what I want you to know is like Gabe is safe here with us in Colombia. I love him, my kids love him, my family loves him, so there's nothing for you to worry about. And so then Monica tries to defend her situation. She's just like, it's just me and Gabe. I just really want to make sure that he's safe where he is. And then she says, but because I know that my brother worked really hard, for instance, on his business, if he asks, would you sign a prenup? And she said, I would sign whatever he wanted me to sign right now. But I work hard just like he works hard for this business. So if he wanted me to sign, I'll sign it. But I just want you to know I also work really hard. And I was like,
Mhm.
wow, this is so good. And
Yes.
so then she kind of starts breaking down a little bit because she realizes that Isabel is like a really good person and
I
she is doesn't
know.
mean there's no like evil malicious bone in her body. And she was just like, I just want to make sure Gabe is okay. And so then that's when they kind of came to Jesus a little bit. And Monica was like, I just want you to feel welcome. Like you're welcome here. And I was like, wow, that's nice. That's quite nice.
Wow, getting along, coming to a consensus together. What's that like?
Yeah. It was tense. Like their initial conversation was very tense because it was like very serious, like very serious tone.
Yes.
Mhm.
You could tell that Isabel's really nice, but that she can hold her own. Like when the time comes that she's no pushover. And that
Yeah.
was like another thing about why I wanted Gabe to introduce. Like I was like, why was he hiding her? Because she is actually so sweet. And I knew that the moment that the mom and sister met her, they were gonna love her and fall in love with her, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, it seems like Gabe is the one who like made everything worse.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
He's such a
He could have just been
screwball.
open. Yeah, he could have just been open with everyone about like what was going on. It
I
would have
knew
been
he
all
was
been
a
fine.
screwball from the moment he arrived in Colombia and he forgot the main thing for his business, right? Like the main mold, right? Or was it like the foam for the for his underwear? What was it like the mold, right?
For the dick.
Yes, and he
Um
forgot it, and he's like, "Oh man, blah blah." And Isabel's like, "You fool! How could you forget that?" And that's when I knew I was like, "Oh man, this guy." I mean, I do actually really like Gabe though, but you could just tell he's like a fly by the seat of the pants type person.
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
Lives life to the fullest, I guess. He lives in the moment.
He
So,
does
gotta
live,
take the
like
good
to
with the
live in the
bad.
moment. But I don't know what's gonna go on. What do you think is gonna go on for their next on? Because it's, wedding time and Gabe
Hmm.
gets information that Monica is not coming. We don't know it cut and didn't explain more than that, but it just says We got a text that says Monica's not coming.
What?
Are we being baited?
Yes,
I don't
Because
know.
they always
Gabe like
bait.
has to sit down and like cry.
Yeah, he starts to cry.
No, he does. Do you think it's about the
So I'm
whole
like,
who's
oh
gonna give him away thing?
What else does she have to be mad about? It looks she's looking for reasons to be mad.
yeah, and that's stupid. It is like it's not her wedding, so she can't do what she wants.
Yeah, don't make it about you.
Um, or what do you think? Maybe she gets diarrhea. Maybe she gets like a stomach flu. I think that's what's gonna end up
Maybe.
happening. I think she's gonna
Do
have
they
like a
have
health problem.
I was thinking, do they have a grandparent in Florida somewhere that maybe gets in an accident of some kind and
Hmm.
they have to go back?
Not that we heard of, but possible.
Just throwing it out there.
All right, I'm excited for them. All right,
Yeah,
wait. I'm sorry.
nothing. That was it. Yep, that's all I was gonna say.
Okay, last but not least, Nicole and Machmouod. Theirs was kind of short. Basically, more of Nicole. I don't know about Egypt. I don't know if I like it. I have to depend everything on Machmouod. And then Machmouod asked his sister-in-law to take Nicole out to go food shopping to the market. And the sister-in-law looks really comfortable. She looks fun and nice. I was like, Nicole, why don't you just hang out with her? I'm sure, does she have any friends? Why don't you just hang out when they all hang out? Right?
Yeah.
They go out shopping and Nicole's like, well, I have to depend everything on him. And I was thinking, well, Nicole, why don't your ass go outside and try to go buy carrot? Just try. Why don't you just try? So partly I'm wondering, like, is this Nicole's personality, or is it really? I just don't think it's as bad as it is. I mean, I'm sure it is totally hard to move to someplace new, but at the same time, her personality is, yes, maybe it's not suited to be in a whole new country. Anyway, so they go shopping. She has a good time. Sister-in-law says it took her a whole year to probably go out and do that on her own. And then Nicole tells her that she actually wants to go back to America, and that they've done all the visa paperwork for Machmouod, and that he might come with her. And then we see Machmouod talking to his brother. Is it brother or uncle?
His
Brother.
brother.
His brother, yes, and kind of explaining the situation. And Mahmoud feels like if he wants to be with Nicole, he's going to have to go ahead and try and make this trip to America. And this is like a surprising twist, actually. I was not expecting this to happen. I was just expecting Nicole to just give up and come home. But the thought that she's going to bring him here, wow. What do you guys think is going to happen? Do you think he's going to come here and change his whole perspective on everything, or stick to his beliefs even harder? What are your thoughts?
He seems devout. So I don't know. It might be a really hard adjustment, kind of like a culture shock moment for that guy when he finally gets here. Because it's gonna be really, really different.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go through a major culture shock, and I don't know how I can handle it. Who knows? Maybe he'll thrive.
Right.
But that's the other thing is it just seems like it's here in America, it's easier to adapt to
Mhm.
because there's so many more like things available to you, especially if you're gonna live somewhere like LA, right? That if you have a community, you'll find it somewhere, not
Mhm.
like in middle small town America. So he just has to find those people that he can bond with, share things with for religion, maybe for culture, maybe. I'm sure he's not the only Egyptian in Los Angeles.
He's
but like then
not. He's
for
not.
right, I mean, what's the guy's name that won the Oscar? The Egyptian guy,
Rami Malek.
Rami Malek. They could be best friends.
They could.
It's actually when I went to school in LA, my like one of my favorite other students was Egyptian, and I went to her church, and it was a full-on Egyptian community. Like everybody
Yeah,
over there is
see,
just like
he
Egyptian,
could
and
he could totally thrive, and then it would be so good um for Nicole, because then she can finally be at peace.
Yeah, you should try. Like, I bet that you could find his Egyptian community pretty easily. Just go to the church, the mosque.
Mhm.
There you go, right there.
Bro, he plays dominoes. Just go to like the hood. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Because with Nicole going to Egypt, that is a major change because actually a lot of her rights and the things that she could do by herself, sorry, they're actually taken away, right? Like in Egypt. Whereas if he comes here, he's not going to have anything really taken away from him. Like it's not like, oh, you can't go outside unless you have this and that, and you're not allowed to do this, and you're not allowed to do that by yourself, and you can't everything,
Yeah,
Whereas,
exactly. Or
whereas
like
for
the other
mhm.
thing, right? Adjusting to community, maybe. He speaks English. She doesn't speak
Yes,
Egyptian. So who would
right.
have an easier time adapting?
His world would be expanded here, whereas
Yeah,
her in Egypt, her world is contracting.
exactly. I
That's
So
think
true.
that's the difference. Is there's less available for her there, which is why she's miserable. Here there would be
right,
more available to him.
right, right.
Yeah, he
And
doesn't
then
lose. Yeah, what he doesn't lose anything. You're right. Maybe he's his family, but he can bring them.
yeah, and he can always go back and visit after a certain time. 3 years, is it?
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Is there anything else that happened towards the end of episode 3 with them?
No, that
Mm,
was it.
He
he
talks to his
has
brother, and that was
basically
it.
he just says that he has to try. He
Yeah.
needs to try for her.
I'm actually really excited. I hope we get to see that side of the story. I don't know if there's gonna be a follow-up for it, but I'm actually really excited because I think he's gonna thrive. I just want to see that switch in him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna get to the point where he's like, I don't even want to come home to Nicole. Sorry, Nicole, I'm with my friends right now. I'm sorry, I cannot come home. Machmouod, Machmouod, you've been
He's
gone
out playing
all
video games with
day.
his homies.
Yes, I'm playing, yes. PlayStation right now, Call of Duty. Okay, I will be home in a little bit. But Machmouod. I think that's what's gonna end up happening.
I hope so.
hmm
That's a good end to their storyline.
Yes, I like it. Yeah, me too. Wow. I never thought they could have a happy ending to their storyline, but there it is.
Just come to
You've written
America.
it for them. Just come to America. Everybody come to
hmm
America. It's welcome for everybody.
All right. That's it. Thank you to everybody who gave us a 5-star review. We really appreciate it. If you haven't left a review, please do so on other podcast app you use. It really helps us keep creating the podcast. That's it. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, B. Anything else?
We did
Mm.
it. There you
Oh,
go. Those 3
yeah.
episodes.
Right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.